Hey everybody, good evening and welcome back to another Focus on Business. I know we have been running that one show with Jason Schofield for a long time, and we've done it for a reason because that cat, man, he is awesome. And plus COVID has kind of shut everything down, and some of the clients are like, I don't know if I want to come out. But today we got someone back, which is really, really nice. Bryan Harding, right? He is a certified college advisor, and he is here tonight. Now I know we did the other thing before with him, but tonight he's going to sit there and talk to you about putting the kiddos through school, and that's kind of a big deal. So, and if you're not planning for it right now, I mean, when they're young, oof, you need to get started, because trust me, I got two of them, and one we didn't and one we did, and the one we didn't, oh my gosh. Okay, so with no further ado, I want you guys to meet Bryan Harding. And I tell you right now, this man knows what he's talking about, so you really need to pay attention. If you don't have a pen and paper, I'm going to give you 30 seconds while I ramble, just 30 more seconds to go get that pen and paper, because you're going to need it. I might be able to maybe try to talk him into letting me have some slides just to kind of email if you need them. So just make sure you John at webeamtv.com, or you can get a hold of Bryan, BryanVP@gmail.com. So that way you can get a hold of him directly. You don't want to call me, because don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy who plays a TV guy on TV. So anyway, Bryan, buddy.
You slept at a Holiday Inn Express last
I did,
night,
man. I'm so super smart right now. So woo!
Absolutely.
Hey. So let's okay. First of all, before you get started, why is it important to get started when they're younger?
Absolutely. So it was as my experience as a financial advisor for 25 years, it was an opportunity that over those 25 years, I've given advice in this field to many parents as well. The fact that I've got 3 kids of my own right now, one of them going into high school themselves this year, is put this higher and higher on the radar screen. And so the biggest challenge that I found is the fact that, how as a parent do I help my child get that college education literally without ruining my bank account?
Right.
So I reached out to some experts that are true experts in this field, and come across some business experts to help me share the information that I was hoping to this evening as well. So that's why I came here, to share this useful information that unfortunately is not relevant out there, or not relevant, abundant in the entire industry.
It is hard. Now, just let you guys know that Bryan's not coming. He didn't just wake up yesterday and go, hey, I want to be a college advisor, help you pay for the funding. This man is a full-on financial advisor. So, but tonight's show is going to be talking about how to get those kiddos into college without breaking your bank, and without you saying, oh, I can't retire now because I had to pay for my child's for my child's college, unless you're going to live with your child and they're going to pay for all your bills once you're retired, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to do. So anyway, let's get started, Bryan. Let's talk about this. Your keys to success, man. Let's get this going.
Absolutely. So college planning, as I do this, folks, there's going to be a lot of slides, and I'll apologize up front for that. But the key takeaways and the 2 things you truly want to remember, the 2 aspects, is colleges are a business. And I'll hit that time and time again. And if we understand that concept, this information makes much more sense. And the second one, to John's point, starting early is the key. And again, if you understand that the sooner you start, being first in line, you really do want to get used to being first in line for college funding. It's first come, first serve. Truly, literally, and figuratively, the more money we can save you down the road. In fact, if I could ask everybody in your hand, hold 2 imaginary glasses. And in one glass, if you would take everything you think you know today about college planning, funding your child's education, and pour that information into this glass on this side in one hand. Now, for some of you, that glass may be half full. Others, it might be 2/3 full. And for a rare couple, it might have actually overflowed. But take everything you think you know and put it in this glass, and we'll set it aside for a moment. And if you'll allow me, for the next 50 or so minutes, with the other glass, I want to pour into this glass really what I think is useful, relevant, important information specific to you and your family. And when we're done, let's compare the 2. And folks, if you're like me, you're going to realize that 90% that's in this glass absolutely is the wrong information. And so that's my goal for the next 50 or so minutes. Fair enough? And so as we kind of start into this thing, the whole program is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is literally to get your child the best education at the absolute lowest possible price. And so if you remember that colleges are a business, their goal is to charge you, the parent, and your child literally as much money as possible to get you to attend that college as they can. Let me kind of give you an analogy, if you'll let me, John.
Sure.
Think about the airline industry. The airline industry is one that we've come to used to, but assume that you were going to take a business trip later this weekend, and you're going to fly, say, from Tampa to New York City. So you go online, you book your ticket, and assume that plane held 200 passengers. Put this into perspective. So you're flying from Tampa to New York along with 200 passengers. So that aircraft, the same point of origination, same point of destination. Now let's take first class and let's just look at coach, but 200 passengers in coach. Isn't it expected that every one of those passengers paid a different price tag?
Yep.
It is. We expect that in
Absolutely.
the industry. Folks, in a nutshell, that's college planning. Literally and figuratively, every child that goes to college for the exact same degree is paying a different price. Our goal is to get your son and daughter to pay the lowest amount possible to get that exact same education. This program, I'm not talking about saving just a couple $100.
Thousands.
$5, $10, $20, $40,000, and you'll see, and I'll put the proof to the pudding here, literally off of the same education you were planning on doing that. See, I've been in business for 25 years in the financial service arena, but what I know is I needed help in this. And so if we could show a couple of the slides up there, I just want to show some information. The two partners that I have is the American College Foundation and College Funding Solutions. And for any parent that has sent any child to college, you are probably familiar with the ACF. They are the premier go-to resource for any and all things college planning. They're headquartered out of Cambridge. Their information is right there. What they have done is not only provide some of the most useful, relevant information on their website, for free, by the way, they've now connected families that have questions to trusted local resources like myself to help you navigate this process from beginning to end, because folks, it really is a process. And so if I kind of get into this thing, and if we look at college planning and effective college planning, it really is to understand that there's an academic piece, a social, and a financial. Well, with my 25 years in the financial service sector, I've got that piece covered. But I needed a third business partner to cover the academic and the social, and so that's where College Funding Solutions have come in. And so CFS, and I'll acronym it, has been around since 1993. They have helped over tens of thousands of families not only prepare for, get into, and graduate from college. That's all they do. And so if you look at that, these three companies together provide the information. Now, here's the startling statistics if we're showing the screen up there. It's unfortunately, the odds are against our kids today.
Wow.
Less than half of the kids enrolling in school today, folks, are making it to graduation. Only 48% are graduating. Now, there's a number of reasons, and you're seeing the top three, and by far and away, the first one is lack of funding. It's money, money, money. But number two is changing schools, and number three is changing majors. And think about changing schools and changing majors. A byproduct of that, in many cases, costs us more money.
Wow.
So it's by far and away the money. Now, I would venture to say that parents aren't planning on failing for their kids in college, but I would venture to say that they failed to properly plan for the true out-of-pocket expenses. The other sad statistic, according to the Department of Education, is that kids today are taking 5.5 years to get their bachelor's degree.
Oh, wow.
So that's today. The program that I'm showing you right now, the kids that we work with, it is a far, far, far better scenario. Mom and Dad, over 85% of our kids are graduating. If I could do nothing more for your son or daughter than taking their chances of success from 48 to 85, what would that mean to you and your family? Kids enrolled in our program, using what we're showing you right now, are getting in and out of college in 4.5 years, not 5.5. And again, Mom and Dad, I'm asking you, if I could do nothing more but taking 1 full year of expense off your plate and getting your child in and out of college in 1 less year, what would that mean to you and your child? See, there's no secret here, Mom and Dad. It's literally, there's two main reasons. The first one is the experience. And again, you saw before that College Funding Solutions has been around since 1993. That's all they do. Again, tens of thousands of families helped. The other reason that we're successful is we're not the best fit for everybody, and I'd be the first to admit that. If the conversation that you have to have with your son or daughter is whether or not they even want to attend college, there's going to be some work, some effort, and some commitment on their part to get the best grades they can, the best test scores, and if they're not willing to do that, folks, this might not be the best program for you. And so as I walk into this thing, there's really 4 aspects as far as being able to help you understand this. There are three aspects. College, and if we can throw that up there, because again, I apologize for the overwhelming slides. College is essential, it's expensive, and it's a business. And so essential is this. If you understand this, the census tells us that a child with a college education over their lifetime will earn twice as much money as compared to a child with a high school education. In fact, a child from a Tier 1 college will make 8 times as much money over their lifetime as compared to a child with just a high school education. It is absolutely essential if you and your family are looking for career path, upward mobility, flexibility, the finer things in life. If money is important, it is essential to have that college degree. But Mom and Dad, I'm speaking right to you because I'm a parent myself. It is so expensive. In fact, I want to show you one slide here and you're all going to get sticker shock. What you are looking at here, Mom and Dad, is just kind of a random smattering of some state and local colleges on the top half of the slide, and on the bottom half is some of our neighbors to the north and Tier 1 colleges. And Mom and Dad, if you're like me, your heart just skipped a beat. You're looking at sticker prices in the neighborhood of $20,000, $40,000, $50,000. There's a few of them at $70,000 and one's even at $80,000. Mom and Dad, that's a per year cost. Start doing the math on that. Multiply that out over a 4-year bachelor degree. And it is no wonder that outside the purchase of your home, this is the largest expense that you will incur over the course of your life. It is absolutely expensive. That's the sticker price. Would it shock you to know that over half of the families and parents today are paying that sticker price? Again, remember, colleges are a business. Their goal is to get us to pay that sticker price. We're trying to get you the deepest discount possible. Last thing with the time remaining here I want to talk about is the fact that they're a business. If you understand that colleges are a business, their main goal, their main objective is to get you to pay that sticker price and remain profitable. Now, I'm not trying to make them out to the black hats and we're the white hats. That's not what I'm trying to say. But their main objective is to get each and every family to pay as close to that sticker price as humanly possible. I'll turn this back over to you for a little bit.
Okay, so when we come back, he's gonna talk to you about how to, he's gonna help you bring that number down. Because if you don't want to pay, and I don't ever pay sticker price, and my wife never pays sticker price.
Absolutely.
Ever. So we'll be right back after these messages. Go get a pad and a pen, get some more coffee or wine or whatever you're needing to help you get through this because you need to hear this. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Now, if that one slide of how much it actually costs to go to some of these schools per year, I'm thinking they're going, well, that's not too bad for 4 years. And then I heard the word a year.
Per year.
If that didn't put you in the back of your seat and go, oh my, then you know what? Reality's not there. But reality is some of those schools, I saw that Miami, $82,000
private
a year.
School, but still 82 times 4.
So this is the man. Well, I'm going to shut up now and just let him just take right back over because this is the stuff you need to know.
Yep.
All right, Brian.
Rob, if you want to throw up that slide for just a little bit, that'd be great. So let's keep walking into this because Mom and Dad, I know the most important aspect is what are the keys to success here? And so there's 4 keys to understand. And so the first one is to understand it really is a process. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And let me just ask you a simple analogy question. If you had the most important job interview of your life tomorrow morning, would you wait until the night before to slap together a resume, do a little research on the company, and walk into that interview tomorrow morning unprepared to talk about benefits and salary? Mom and Dad, I hope you wouldn't. But when it comes to college planning, that's literally what we all do as parents. We wait until our kid's senior year of college, kind of pick 1 or 2 colleges out, submit the application. If they give us an answer back and accept us, we think they got our back. Couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth. So understanding this thing is a process, and starting early is the key. I said it before, but what does starting early mean? Literally, if your son or daughter is a freshman or sophomore, now is the time. Because again, the sooner you start this planning process, literally the most money I can help you save for your son or daughter's education. And so that doesn't mean to say we can't help the junior and seniors, but there are some strategies, some techniques that have already passed us by. So again, if you've got a freshman or sophomore, please, please, please listen loud and clear. Now is the time. The last thing is effective career planning. Now, I can't sit here today and tell you I know what your 16-year-old is going to be doing 30 years from now. I'm certainly not doing what I thought I'd be doing as a 16-year-old. But what we can do is through personality tests like Briggs-Myers, help them determine what their values, their interests, and their abilities are. And from those test results, kind of find schools and programs that are probably a good fit for a lot of that. In many cases, eliminate schools and programs that aren't. And then the last one, and folks, this is by far and away the most important thing to understand. Have college enrollment options. And options, notice with an S. The worst thing we can do at this time is have tunnel vision and just have 1 or 2 schools in mind. Because again, if you remember, colleges are a business, and if they realize they don't have any competition, what's their incentive to come down off those sticker prices? There is none. So in essence, we want you to pick 6 or 8 viable programs that if any one of them accepted your kid, your child's going to be happy to go there. There's 2 last statistics I want to talk about, and that's these 2 here. We're going to talk quickly about yield and student loan default rate. Yield is this. Let's use the University of Tampa. On average, the University of Tampa sends out 24,000 letters of acceptance all across the state and country every year. Of that 24,000, roughly only 6,000 students actually attend. So if the yield is 24 and 6,000, the yield's only 25%, rough math. We know that any student or any university that is below 30%, we have additional room for negotiation there. So we look for colleges like that. And student loan default rate, it's just an indication of students that graduate from those programs that end up eventually defaulting on the loan, which is never a good thing. But it's more of an indication that they're not able to get jobs right away. And so we look at those programs and try and find the one that's got the lowest one as well. And so let's talk about the most important aspect, and that's the money side. And Rob, again, let's just show this for a little bit. But folks, there's 2 ways to pay for college. There's gift aid and there's self-help aid. What is gift aid? Gift aid is literally free money. Think about that sticker price and in essence having that college or program on sale. It's a discount from the sticker price. It's the good stuff. Self-help aid is where your student has to pay back through a work-study program or a student loan or a parental loan. But in other words, there's an obligation. There's 3 ways to pay for college, and you're seeing them there. The federal government, and in some cases state and local, the colleges themselves, and the private sector. And this is the meat of the presentation here, folks. So let's talk about the federal government. And again, Rob, my apologies. Let's try one last time for this slide. So the first thing for the federal government, if you've had a son or daughter that's already in college, you've heard of this acronym. It's FAFSA. It stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Starting October 1st of your child's senior year in high school, you can complete this form, you can submit this form to the federal government, and the federal government reviews and evaluates your information and sends you back a student aid report. Here's the challenge with this. First of all, fear not, Mom and Dad, if you've never heard of it. Millions of families every year fill this form out. They do so. The problem is this. There's no instruction manual on this form. You submit the information to the best of your ability to the federal government. They evaluate the information that you send them. They do not make you aware of any errors you've made and send you back a student aid report. The problem with this is you could be saving money and not realize it because you filled out this form wrong. See, the other strategy that's so important, you heard me say it, starting early is the key. You'll see here in a little bit why it's so important to fill this form out on or as close to October 1st as possible. And so what you're going to get back from the federal government, and again, Rob, I'm sorry, if you could throw up this screen, and this is hard to read, but in essence, this is a screenshot of a student aid report. And what I really want you to focus on is the highlighted areas. There's a before and after letter. If you look at the top right, there's an EFC number. EFC is an acronym. It stands for Expected Family Contribution. You would expect that that's the amount of money you would pay to go to college. It's not. It's part of a larger formula. But for every golfer out there, you'll understand this. We want that number to be as close to zero as humanly possible. So what you're looking at is a before and after. And so the before is the student, her name is Crystal. They submitted the report without any help. The government evaluated it, and their EFC came back at $7,312. The family started working with us. We showed them where they were making some errors. We corrected those errors and resubmitted it for the after. The after came back as an EFC of $2,902. Now the difference is this. The before and after, there's a $4,410 a year difference. That is significant, Mom and Dad. Compare that over 4 years. That is $17,000 of savings for Crystal and her family just because they knew how to fill out the form correctly. I'll show you one more. It's another student. Her name is Cassandra. And again, the before and after. Before, without our help, $19,344. After, the family was working with us. We showed them they were making some mistakes. We corrected them. Folks, their change was $7,000 a year in savings, almost $30,000 a year, or $30,000 total that they would have paid without our help. And so that's one area. Now I'll get families all the time that say, you know, I've never taken a dime from the federal government.
Right.
Not planning on doing it now.
Right.
Folks, I'm right there with you. We still need you to fill out the FAFSA form. Because what we're going to do is, whether or not you qualify or not, we need to put the colleges on notice that you're not planning on taking any money. Remember I said there's 3 funding sources, the federal government, the second one is the state or the colleges themselves. Folks, here's where we make the biggest impact for families, is on the colleges themselves. They are the largest source of gift aid out there. It's the good stuff, it's the free money. We're bringing that discount price down, and so the colleges themselves are where we get the biggest bang for your dollar here. And so 3 things to understand here with the colleges themselves. We want to make you and your child the most attractive candidate possible. Now, what do I mean by that? If your son or daughter, do they need to have a 4.0 GPA in the valedictorian? Absolutely not. But folks, if your son or daughter is struggling with their grades, 2.1, and have low test scores, it's going to be very difficult for us to get money from the colleges. We are asking your son or daughter to put the best effort they can, to get the best grades they can, to get the best test scores they can, and if they put in their best effort, whatever that is, we'll save you some money. See, again, remember, keeping your options open. Colleges are a business, and so again, knowing that, if we have competition, that's our leverage point to get that sticker price down. And then finally, what's going to happen is the senior year of your child's high school year, you're going to start getting award letters back from these colleges and universities. And so when you get them, you're not going to understand whether or not that's a good offer. We want you to send us those letters so we can evaluate them to help you determine whether or not that's the best price possible. And so I want to show you a few award letters here. And again, Rob, I'm sorry. What you're looking at here is an award letter for Zachary. It was for New York University. And there's only the top line is highlighted, and now I just want to focus on what we call the gift aid. And again, it's the free money. And so if you look, Jonathan was awarded a TISC scholarship in the amount of 20 grand. But if you look at that, you know, the total cost of college is $55,000. Gift aid in the form of $20,000. Do the rough math. That's a 30% discount. That doesn't sound too bad. But here's the information that you will not find anywhere on the internet. What we know at CFS is we knew Zachary's academic strength, his grades. We knew the financial situation of the family. And we know what New York University typically awards. And we felt there should be some more money there. So we coached and counseled the family on to appeal the results in a very polite way. Folks, over 90% of the families don't know you can appeal the offer letter. We showed them how to do it correctly. And what I want to show is one last time, Rob, the appeal results. If you'll notice, there's an additional line item there. It's called a Dean's Grant. Now, it's just $2,000, but again, stop and put that into perspective. That's $2,000 per year over a 4-year degree. Ladies and gentlemen, we just saved Zachary and his family $8,000 that they did not have to pay. We're making a difference here. And again, because families know to ask and use this information. I'll show you a few more. The other one is a little closer to home. This is Jonathan at Palm Beach Atlantic. And again, let's just focus on the free money, the highlighted areas. There's a 2 scholarships, an award, and a grant totaling $12,680. We again felt with Jonathan's academic strength, the financial background of the family, we felt there should be a few more dollars, so we had him appeal the results. And again, one last time again on the screen, if you'll notice there's a new line item. It's a medallion scholarship of $2,500. And again, let's do the math. Folks, that's $10,000 a year that the family did not have to pay out of pocket because they knew the information, the strategies, and the techniques that they don't have to pay now, keeping their savings intact. That's the difference we make. Do you remember I've said all along that starting early is the key? I want to show you just quickly a scenario with a student, Robin here, applied to Westminster University. And again, just want to show the fact that just filing that FAFSA form on or as soon as October 1st, we see this time after time. For doing that, she got a $1,000 early filing grant. Now, it's only $1,000, but it's $1,000 that the family would have never had they not known about this technique. And so again, that's how we're saving people money. And so I'm going to turn this back over to John real quick, and we'll finish talking about it later.
So when we come back, we're going to talk to he's going to talk more to you about college funding solutions,
Yep.
which is a very big deal. I'm just sitting there doing the math. I'm thinking to myself, if that one kid got 10 grand over 4 years, that's $40,000. That is huge.
Huge.
So, all right, so get some more coffee, some more wine, some tea, whatever you need to help you get through the rest of it, because there's a lot more information. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now, so because it's my show, I get to kind of do some things that I want to do. I'm going to have him back up to a couple of the award letters, and there's a couple other more we're going to talk about too, because it kind of pushed me back in my seat going, I filled out that FAFSA for my kids, and I get it. And I'm like, and I did not know that October was a big deal.
Yeah.
We were doing it just whenever we could get it done, right? And so now you showed some savings, and I really want you to back up. Let's go back to, I think it was Robin,
Yep.
right? That kind of blew me away. Let's talk about, especially Westminster. I know where Westminster is. So.
Absolutely. Well, this is what I just don't understand. And again, it's because as a parent now, it becomes more and more important because, again, my own son is now in high school. And for the fact that it's higher on my own radar screen. And the assumption as a parent out there is that colleges, again, you heard me say this before, they have our back. And believe me when I say that it's not that they're the black hats. They're really not. But if you truly understand the concept that they are a business, think about this, Mom and Dad. Would you ever show up to a car lot, test drive a vehicle with the salesperson in the car with you, and while you're taking that test drive, once you got back on the car lot, would you ever, in the car, tell the salesperson, I'm not going to go shopping anywhere else. This is the car I want. This is the make and model I want. I want to buy it today. Can you give me a good deal? Would you ever do that? I hope you wouldn't. I mean, if you did, you wouldn't admit it to your friends and family.
Nope.
But again, I take that to the extreme. But when it comes to college planning, that's in essence what we're doing. We trust that the colleges are going to give us the best deal possible, that they're helping us out. and in some regards they are, but if you have this information and this knowledge and realize that there's room for negotiation on all of this, that makes you a better, more prepared family. And again, because it's right near and dear, it's your wallet here, folks. If I can show you ways to save $5, $10, $20, $40,000, folks, I can think of a lot of better things to do with that kind of money than giving it to a college. I mean, I'm an alumni myself, and I don't know about, your kids or your kids. Those colleges call me each and every year. I graduated back in 1988, and they're still calling me every year to support the college. And so we'll still find a way to do that. But sending my child to college, I want to give them the best education possible at the lowest possible price. And so as you recall, I at the beginning asked you to hold 2 glasses. We filled one and set it aside, and I'm helping you refill this one. Just do a quick comparison. Is some of the information I'm showing you now the information you thought you knew? Because for myself, it wasn't. And what I'm coming to find is, again, this glass that I thought I knew about, I'm dumping it out because it's irrelevant information, and now I'm filling it with useful information. And so, just to quickly get back to Robin's scenario and your situation, parents don't know that deadlines are so crucial. And so again, you're seeing the $1,000. And so what's critical about that is, these incremental savings just because of the strategies. It's so important to know the deadlines and have a business partner helping you with all of these deadlines, realizing that we can appeal results, getting a better offer for our son and daughter. And so I want to show you a few more slides, and then we'll kind of move on. But this last one here is from Yale University. And I use it for a couple reasons. First of all, this letter is over 15 years old, which goes to show you the strategies and techniques that we're discussing right now today are still effective in 2020. The second reason I used the Yale letter is for the fact that everywhere I've gone throughout the state and anywhere in the country, almost everyone's heard of Yale. Now, Yale University is a Tier 1 college. They will tell you they do not give gift aid, merit-based money.
Right.
They only do need-based money. Folks, that's the biggest smokescreen out there. This need-based, merit-based, that's the biggest smokescreen in the world. Any money any college gives you is merit-based money. And by that I mean this. You could be the poorest family in the world. If that college doesn't want your son or daughter, they're not going to give you any money. And so that letter from Yale, the student's name is Brad. And so on that letter, again, back then, 15 years ago, it was closer to $70,000. But again, focus on the highlighted area, the gift aid. It's $9,986. Again, Tier 1 college, say they never give merit-based money. You would never think you could even come close to appealing that offer. But again, what we knew about Yale, and again, every college out there, is based on Brad's academic strength, his grades, his test scores, and the financial situation of the family. We felt there was more money to be had. And so, believe it or not, we coached and counseled the family to appeal the offer. The results are this. We went from $9,986 to $15,000, $247. And again, let's do the math one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is over $5,000 a year in cold hard savings to Brad and his family. You do the math, 4 years out, ladies and gentlemen, that is $21,000 of savings that the family didn't have to come up with. Now, it's kind of silly, but I'll ask the question. Do you think Yale University is going to miss $21,000 over the next 4 years?
Absolutely. Here's here's something that really is, it literally set me back in my seat, is I did not know that you could even attempt to negotiate. I was always under in the understanding that this is what you get. If they say yes, it's yes. If they say no, no, there's no extra, blah, blah, blah. So you just got to either suck it up and go to that school, or you find a new school.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was at the University of New Haven.
Okay.
And so I was a Tier 2. And my goal ultimately was to go to Yale because that's where all the engineering, the guys.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened? All the we had a ton of Indian students.
Okay.
Because it's known as, back then it was an engineering school. So everybody would go there, and then they would get their generals and their bachelors, and then they would transfer to Yale to get their masters or doctorates. I never in a million years thought that I could have negotiated. And so, see, I got accepted to MIT, but for only the science side of it, not the artistic side of it. So I stayed at University of Haven, had a full ride, which is really nice. I got lucky. But it just blows my mind that all these schools that you're mentioning, that you can negotiate. I'm sitting here almost flabbergasted, not knowing what to say. I didn't know you could do that.
And again, it's, you think about that, and as a parent, earlier this year, I was in the same boat you are. I would have never thought that you could negotiate an award letter. And again, I'll show you here in a little bit what we're actually, the secret recipe here. But again, as I said before, over 90% of the families are unaware of this strategy that you can negotiate an award letter. And I will tell you that about 80% of the time when we submit an appeal, 80% of the appeals we submit come back with additional savings. So this isn't some fruitless, and I'm showing you the rare few that succeed here, Mom and Dad. 80% of the time, if we ask you and show you where we think there's additional money to be had, we're saving you. And again, think about this. This is money coming out of either your son and daughter's account or a loan. I mean, we're talking real money here, Mom and Dad. This isn't just a couple $100, like I said before. This is real money. And so, you think about it, that $21,000, when it comes to Yale, first of all, think about their endowment alone is $25 billion. Billion with a B. They are not going to miss $21,000.
Nope.
Now, Brad's mom and dad, do you think they might miss $21,000?
They would miss it dearly.
Yeah, and then more importantly, would you miss $21,000? I know I would. And so that's the impact that we're making on this. And I'll show you the time remaining here, what it is we're comparing this to. And Rob, my apologies one last time, sir. This is a very detailed slide. I do want to spend some time kind of walking you through what you're looking at here. See, what we know, CFS pays for this information. We pay thousands of dollars every year to compile this information that you will not find anywhere else. But you're looking at a student. His name is Robin. It's Robin, same Robin. Again, Westminster College. We know the sticker price of that college. It's a known commodity, and the sticker price is $39,000. Their EFC, this is what's crucial, folks. Every family will have a different EFC. It takes into account your family's income, where you have money saved, the value of the equity in your house. There's many more things behind that. But those are the biggest three that, in essence, determine your EFC. And what we're doing, and where the magic happens, is we're taking the sticker price of college, we're reducing it by your EFC, and it's the difference. Now, we call it a student need, but it's that need that we have to negotiate and work with, that number difference. And so in Robin's case, that difference is $8,390. And so what we know, and again, because of the information we purchased, we know that Westminster College, on average, and my apologies, my eyes are getting bad, will pay 70-some% of that difference, that need, and does so 63% in the form of gift aid. So if we can run and compile all the math for Robin and her family for Westminster, we know that any award letter for her, a great award letter, in their situation should be at least $4,000 or above. So that's when you get these award letters, that's why you want to send them to us, because we'll compare what we think we should be getting to what you actually get. Now, if you'll notice, we appealed Robin's results, and we got an award offer far in excess of $4,000. It was in the neighborhood of $14,000. Wow. It was $10,000 above. Now, that's to the extreme, but that's the magic here, folks. And so we said, no reason to go any further. If you're interested in going to Westminster, you need to go to Westminster. I'll show you one more, and it's Bryan and his family. Oops, did I just, which one is this? Is this Bryan? Yep, Bryan and his family. Same scenario, different college, Santa Clara University. We know the sticker price, $55,000. Here's again, you'll understand why it's so crucial to get your EFC low, because Bryan and his family, their income wasn't as high. They didn't have as many assets set aside, so their EFC number was much, much lower. And again, that's the magic. We want as low of an EFC as we can. And so that student financial need is a much bigger number because, again, folks, that's where we have the leverage. Now, that college, Santa Clara, we know that they meet 66% of that need, and 79% of it is in the form of gift aid. And I'll turn this back over to you. But the award letters for Bryan should be in the neighborhood of 24,000. His came back at 28.
Let's hold it right there. We'll come back to this.
Sounds good.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
I mean, if you've been looking and you understand what he's talking about, that's amazing amount of money. So again, we're going to take one more break. Last break, we come back, we'll hit on this. We got a few more things, and then we're just going to wrap it up, crunch it all down, and let you know how to get a hold of this guy. Not that we haven't had his stuff already up on the screen. So again, go with some coffee, some tea. I got coffee. I love my coffee. Even at night, I like to drink my coffee. So everybody, we'll be right back right after these messages. All right, we're back. Final segment, right? Mr. Bryan here. And it's funny. We're with Bryan. We're talking about Mr. Bryan Harding, right?
Very true.
Okay, so let's show that gift letter one more time. 28, I mean, a gift aid awarded is $28,000.
Correct.
Okay, that's huge because I know for a fact that we saved for our kids all the way through. We actually started in elementary. We did the Florida prepaid thing.
Florida prepaid.
So we had that, right? But I knew that wasn't going to cover, but maybe a quarter, if that, right? Because that's not. So we saved, but. That's a big deal.
It is. And again, parents, you're starting to understand how relevant this FAFSA form is and the EFC number. You think about this FAFSA, and we were talking about it during break. The FAFSA, you would assume free application. Well, right away, it should be easy, simple, and easy. Couldn't be the farthest thing from the truth. Think about the 1040 form that you fill out every year. That's also free to fill out as well. And it's not how you fill out that 1040 form today that makes the difference. It's the strategies, the investment, the concepts that you employed a year or two before that make the difference on your 1040, is it not? That gets you the refund or you have to pay?
That's correct, absolutely.
The FAFSA is the same way, Mom and Dad. So that's why, again, starting early is the key. And so as a financial advisor, there are things, and I kind of referenced this earlier, but the fact that where you have some money saved can either hurt or help you. where you have savings can hurt or help you. Now, the equity in your home is a known commodity, and if you own a business, actually, it could either count for you or against you. And if you own agricultural farmland and have employees, I mean, there's a number of factors here. But as a financial advisor, we can run some what-if scenarios. And so if you have savings in, say I keep my wallet in my left-hand coat pocket, we might show you a strategy that says, you know what, let's take your wallet and move it from the left-hand coat pocket and put it in your right-hand coat pocket. It's still money you have access to. It's right there. It's easy to get to. It's just now in my right-hand coat pocket because the federal government is only looking at the savings I keep in my left hand. And so that's where we can, after we'll run some what-ifs with you on the FAFSA and help you determine what that lowest number is. But we can do that before we actually submit it to the federal government. We're not doing tests, we're going to show you ahead of time what's the best way to get the lowest number. But if we take you back to Bryan's example, because their EFC is so low, again, that student financial need on the bottom, that difference is much higher. And so what you get then is colleges will help families with a low EFC with more gift aid. And so in this scenario, again, the expected gift aid, the target was around $24,000, a big number. Now, Bryan's family got an award offer of 28, so far in excess of what we were expecting. And so again, that's kind of a secret behind the sauce. So I've probably overwhelmed you with some of this information. If you remember earlier, I said there's 3 funding sources: the federal government, the colleges themselves, and the third one is the private sector. Let's wrap up and talk about the private sector. Mom and Dad, there's some good news and there's some bad news about the private sector. What's the good news? The good news is it's free money. And if you remember, that's the good stuff. So again, sticker price, discount off sticker price. It's the good stuff, money we don't have to pay back. What's the bad news? The bad news is this: the private sector makes up only 3% of all gift aid out there. We don't think it's worth your time to spend 80% of your time going after 3% of the money. The other bad news is this: any money you get in the private sector arena, in many cases, actually goes to benefit the college themselves and doesn't actually benefit you and your family. And I'll take you back to Bryan's example. If we could go back one more time, Rob, to Bryan and his family, and I'll use them just as an example. Let's say that Bryan was all excited to go to Santa Clara University, got the best offer out there and said, yep, I'm going to Santa Clara. And then did some additional legwork, and let's just assume that the local Elks Club gave him a $1,000 scholarship. Let me ask you, who do you think Bryan has to report that $1,000 scholarship to now? He has to report it to Santa Clara University. Guess what Santa Clara University, now I'm not picking fun of poking at Santa Clara, all colleges do this, but Santa Clara University absorbs that $1,000, and instead of offering Bryan and his family $28,000 in gift aid, it's now reduced to $27,000. See, the colleges keep it,
right,
and it happens over 90% of the time. As a parent, if you didn't know this information, you'd never know to appeal the offer, would you? We'll go back and at least appeal the offer. Now, this one's a little stickier. About half the time we can do something good. The other half of the time, it's a done deal.
Right.
But what we'll do is we'll tell Santa Clara, listen, you already offered the family $28,000. Can you at least take the $1,000 scholarship and reduce the loan side? Or at least split it with us 50-50 so the family benefits somehow from that. But had you not had this information, you'd never know to appeal it. And more importantly, remember, colleges are a business. If Santa Clara University was the only college you applied to, what's their incentive to work with you? They wouldn't. So again, that's why it's so important to have options there. Now, I threw so much information at everybody here. It's like drinking through a fire hydrant. But again, the 2 glasses, I'm filling this glass here. Ask yourself, is the information that I started with the same as the information I'm sharing with you right now? Let's summarize and wrap up talking about everything I've shared with you so far. What this program does is and can offer you and your family. Folks, what we're talking about is helping your family with career planning and guidance, your son and daughter doing their interests, their values, and their abilities, helping you determine what programs, what types of schools might be a good fit, We'll help you with the search and selection process. We'll help you with admissions counseling, when to actually visit the campus. That's a big deal. And something I haven't even mentioned is SAT and ACT test prep. Folks, our program has literally the industry best software program out there. It's called Naviance. We will help prepare your son and daughter to take and prepare for those tests and retake if necessary to get the absolute best grades possible. I'll wrap up again, and I know, Rob, you just came to me, but this is the last one, I promise, Rob, and then we come back. We will help you with the financial aid applications, which, again, you said before, John, was the biggest thing. That FAFSA form will help you with the award letter evaluations and appeals, private sector scholarships. You will get hands-on guidance and support, answers you know you can trust, with a company with over 2 decades of experience. And Rob, if you want to throw up this one last slide, that's my contact information. Well, we'll come to this one, which at this point, parents have one main question. They have a million questions.
How much is it going to cost me?
Yeah, so the one main question is, it all sounds great, but how much is it going to cost? Everything I just showed you, Mom and Dad, the all-in cost is $995.
That's awesome.
Well, stop and put that into perspective, and thank you literally for saying that. So it's $995 of an investment to, again, save your family $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 of true out-of-pocket expense of saving your retirement for your own child's education. Again, the best education possible at the lowest possible price. Now, what I find is about 3 out of 4 families I've sat down with love the value, love the opportunity, and they're ready to move forward. Great. 1 out of 4, they might not see the value, or they're more of a true diehard do-it-yourselfer, and they say, you know what, I just want to do it on my own. Right there with you again. For those 1 out of 4 families, I would recommend going back to the American College Foundation, their website. Much of what I just shared with you is right there on the website. The resources are there. And if you want to, I truly wish you the best. For the 3 out of 4 that you said, hey, I'm ready to move forward, I love what you said, and I would like to have somebody hold my hand and show me step by step how to navigate this, then Rob, the last slide is, my contact information. And so if for any reason you have questions and would like this information, by all means, reach out to me, call me, cell phone, email. Let's have a conversation specific about you and your family, your child. Let's navigate this, and we'll help you get enrolled. And so, John, let me turn it back. I know we have some time remaining.
Yeah, I tell you, this the whole FAFSA thing was just, I know, it's not, okay, I don't want to make this sound like it's rocket science. You had to fill it out. But if I'd have known how to fill it out correctly,
yeah.
I mean, I know we saved for our kids, but those families that, they couldn't save.
Correct.
And usually, if you just sit down with me 5 years ago,
that's what
right before I was, maybe a little bit sooner, I couldn't have written that check fast enough.
Well, and that's
because I'm a big believer in taking it off me, because look, I can do a lot of things, but when it gets into that side of that world, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't do it. It's just the fact that I don't want to do it. And if I got someone if I can help have someone do that can help me do it the right way. Oh.
Well, in fact, to your very point, I just sat down with a family 2 weeks ago that there's 2 kids. There's an older brother and a younger daughter. And both children are attending, in essence, the goal is to try and attend the same college. So the oldest one's now in college. And we're going through the process. And so the FAFSA, we showed them. In fact, there is a before and after with them. We saved them $3,000, again, over 4 years, $12,000. But the fact that we showed them some additional strategies, and we're waiting for the child to get the award letter. But in essence, the parents are actually angry now because they know that had they had this information for the oldest child, they could have saved probably close to 18 to 20 grand over, and so it makes them a little frustrated. But they're happy at least now to know the information and what they can for the youngest daughter.
That to me is like, I'm sitting back going, okay, so I filled all that stuff out and went, I could have saved some money.
Yes.
And it's mind-boggling that I can't believe the phones aren't already ringing. That's just me personally. But so yeah, if you're sitting at home and you're getting ready to go through all of this, which I know I know people right now that I'm going to come. You need to go watch that show. Actually, I'm just going to give you your contact information. You need to call this guy, because it would have made a whole difference. It would have taken the stress off, and I think that's the biggest thing is it's the stress.
Yeah.
Because you really want your child to be in school. You want him to go to where he wants to go, not where he's left to be able to go.
Correct.
And and I really think this is that'll make the difference right there is dealing with someone like Bryan. Bryan is like, I mean, yeah, I can't sit there. I'm literally almost speechless about. I did not know. I'm sitting there going, I'm kicking myself now, going, I cannot believe that I could have negotiated, because, you know. It's weird. Sorry, it's hard to make me not talk, but because I love to talk. But anyway, so let's put Bryan's information up. Let's put that slide up one more time. So there's all of his contact information. I know we put it up all throughout the whole show and everything, but right there, that's some important numbers right there that you need to screenshot, write down, take a picture of that with your phone or whatever you got to do to get that information into your hands and call this man, because look, our kids need a good education, period. And you're right.
Yeah.
They'll make more money, and they won't be living in my basement or your basement or your garage or whatever extra, and they can all get out and get married and have kids and have fun with life, right? So thank you for watching Focus on Business. We appreciate it. We know you guys have got a lot more to watch out there than us, but you do anyway. You like us. We will see everybody on the next show of A Focus on Business.